Hello, good evening, everyone. With us, we have Confidence Stably, Chinwe Nandi. We also have Modupe Mo Darasini Eti. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. Please make welcome.
Hi everyone, my name is Chiran Nadi. I'm an agile transformation leader. I'm quite passionate about building tomorrow's ecosystem, or what I call the non-tech tech ecosystem, for those that are going to be part of the tech ecosystem for tomorrow but do not need to code. And currently that's what I'm trying to do, trying to build a pipeline of people that are in the tech space but do not necessarily code. So
hi everyone, good evening. My name is Confidence Stably. I'm very passionate about digital development, basically feeding the talent pipeline and more importantly closing the digital gender divide. Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Technovision, for having me.
Hi guys, good afternoon. So basically what I do here at the Ball is help Africans, youths like yourself who are looking to start and develop their career in technology, to not only learn about what they want to build their career in, but we also work with our current partners to actually get them internship positions. So you have the opportunity to intern and begin building your portfolio and long-term a full-time job. We will distribute your CV within our network to get you more career opportunities. Listening to understand is quite important because you have opportunity to receive mentorship, you have opportunity to provide support, you have the opportunity to come up with ideas and share your ideas. One of the fastest way is also to put like a 30-second elevator pitch together so that by the time you're meeting with prospective employers or mentors or anybody that can help you grow professionally, you have the opportunity to sell yourself to them immediately and make yourself more memorable.
Ideally, I kind of looked at that as a use the tools that are within your network. We use the tools that are within your space. So every platform can be used to network depending on what you're looking out for. Most professional organizations are on LinkedIn. Influencers, tech influencers are everywhere. Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram. So as long as you can plug yourself and have the right profile in all these platforms, you should be able to network properly. And something else you can do is you can identify the influencers in your space. By your space, I mean the field that you've decided to grow in. If you find an influencer in that space, just follow the person across the different platforms they're in, and you most likely will see that they will share access to different communities where you can leverage the skills that you have and also get access to more resources or job opportunities.
The last portion of what you said was literally what was on my mind. So first and foremost, create your profiles in the places that matter the most for your community or for your for the area in tech that you're interested in. And that's something you can find out with time. So, for example, where are influencers in that particular field most active and present in? So, for example, cybersecurity, that's LinkedIn and Twitter. So you have to find those communities and create a very good profile that represents who you are and what you stand for and the value you bring to the table as well. Very important, the value you bring. So when you find and you then create your profile for yourself, the next key thing you need to remember is that you shouldn't just be a consumer of information. You should also be able to give out information and be able to give value. Now, that might not necessarily mean you'll be tweeting about so many things at a time. It may just be when somebody creates an article on LinkedIn and shares it. You read that article, digest it, and give your own thoughts as well about it. You understand? So that way, you're giving yourself you're using that particular post to share that you're knowledgeable, or that you've learned, or that this is your own side. These are your own thoughts as well about it. So it also gives you visibility as well. And I want to share here right now as well that a lot of people don't realize it, but the opportunities no longer come to just the people that are best at it. It's actually also the people who are visible and known for this and as well good at it. So sometimes actually the part B can be something you test later on, but opportunities will come to people who are visible and known. And that's why it's important that you network. Okay?
Something I'd like to add to that is, in addition to being present and giving value, you can't give value if you don't have value. So you need to take responsibility for your own learning. Like something that Confidence said now, you find some posts on some of these platforms and then you read the comments beneath it and you're wondering, how does this relate to what the person said? The person is trying to be present, but they've been present in a way that did not show inside. So you have to be valuable, and you can be valuable by reading, by listening, by hearing stuff, and having a thought of your own. Like, does this make sense to me? What does this mean? And beyond that, you should not shy away from telling your story. You need to be able to identify what your story is and be bold about telling it. Put out the work that you've done. Put a nice post. 6 months ago, I wasn't able to code. This is what I've done. 2 people might read an article and get something completely different from that same article. So your own take on what you have learned is what the world wants to hear.
Yes, Ma.
When reaching out to someone new, so you introduce yourself and go straight to the point. People are busy, I would say, and they tend to I tend to scan through messages when I get them initially. So I'm going to speak from my perspective. I tend to scan through messages when I get them immediately because I just kind of want to know, okay, I'm getting an email. I want to go straight to the point. So you can do like a quick introduction and go straight to the point. What is the fastest way to get people to recognize what you do is you have to know who you're messaging. You have to study and understand the profile of the person that you're sending that message to.
Yeah, anyone who's busy wants to know what you want upfront. So, those messages where you send hello first and then wait for the person to tell you, hi, you want to send everything in as short a message as possible. I generally like a template. Tell me your name, tell me what you want from me, and exactly what the call to action is. So ideally, that would be then you say, "Hi, my name is Chinwe. I stumbled upon your post on so, and I thought it was interesting. I'd like to be able to do this or create this value for you or get this from you." And then you must always end with a call to action. Don't just say you like it and leave it there. I'm not in your mind. I don't know what you want. Make sure you include a call to action. Would you be willing to get on a call with me? Would you be willing to send me this? Would you be willing to? But you always need to ask a question or get a call to action. So it provokes a response from the person.
I think one of the key things that you should avoid is being thirsty. It's important that that when you're networking, you are providing value to people or to a person, and the person is in turn providing value somewhat. It may not be from the beginning, but find that place where you have shared interest. Don't just come off with requests. But the key thing I want to talk about now as well when we're talking about networking is you should remember that networking is not a one-off thing. It's also a relationship you're building. So if you think about it from that perspective of a long-term thing, which is a relationship, you know that you have to service it. You have to if you're doing openly, then you have to consistently share information and come up as a person of value. So it's a relationship you're building. Remember to try and find a possible point of making it mutually beneficial. And these points are special interest, finding special interest that intersects and start off from there.
So something that I think was more Confidence, I'm not sure who said it, is there has to be chemistry, and chemistry in terms of you have to be willing to learn from the person. I don't think a mentor is the person who's supposed to help you identify your career path. I think a mentor is somebody that you identify after you already know your career path. If you don't know your career path and you get a mentor, the mentor is only going to tell you to do what they have done, and that may not be yours. But now, taking that aside, how do you identify the right mentor for you? One, you know this person's story. Not necessarily you know their story from inside out, but you've gobbled up everything they've put out online, on the internet. You've listened to their interviews. There's a sense of there's chemistry, and chemistry in terms of I can learn from this person. I'd like to take it a step further and say you can serve this person. Anybody you can serve, it means that your mind is open to receive from that person. And beyond that, the person is successful at what they are doing, and what they're doing is something that you want to do. So if you see Mo, for example, Mo is program manager at Bob, and kind of like the way she talks, you've listened to a couple of her talks, you've read some of the posts that she's put out there, and you're like, oh, I like what Mo has done. And once you can identify that, then you reach out. But something I'd like to also say, you go and meet somebody or you reach out to someone and they don't seem interested, that's fine. You can actually follow them across all the platforms they're on. If they have books they've written, read all their books. If you read a person's book, you've already gotten into the person's mind. You already know how the person thinks. That's a form of mentorship. Now, it depends on how your message was crafted the first time. If there is a call to action, if you went through the whole, your introduction, your specific objective, and your call to action, yes, you can, but you have to craft it really carefully, because sometimes it could be that the person lost track and did not remember. So you have to craft it almost like, oh, I'm sure you might have missed this. Just checking in to see. Gentle, what's that word now? Gentle reminder. But after you've done it twice, don't do it. It means the person is not going to answer you again. Take responsibility for your own learning. Be bold about telling your stories and be consistent, and you will get those results.
Do not give up. Always ask questions. Always ask questions. Always seek clarity. No one can take your knowledge from you. So what doesn't kill you will just make you stronger. So see every experience as a learning curve and then move on. Once you're able to do these things, you got these things down, nothing can stop you.
Be your authentic true self. Don't try to be someone else because you're networking. The world really wants to experience you. For me, I was inhibiting a part of me. The part of me that's very, full of life, that has so much zest, Now I realized that that's actually what sets me apart in my career, apart from my knowledge. That's the reason people want to meet me. They like my energy. Own who you are and show up as your true authentic self, because the world actually likes and want to see that part of you. So be authentic, be true to yourself, and show us what you have. Only you can be you.